All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for coming tonight. I know it's like not always ideal to be on Zoom past 5 o'clock or all day. It's the tough transition, but that's also why we're here, and that's why we're presenting, because we're here to kind of give you some tips and tricks on how to navigate this virtual world, and also just planting some little seeds of knowledge for academic success throughout the quarter and even beyond, throughout the year and throughout your time at Cal Poly, or your time being a student in general. I am going to go ahead and pass it over to Eric to go ahead and introduce himself.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. My name is Eric Valdez. I am a second-year transfer here at Cal Poly studying aerospace engineering. And I'm going to be the transfer center's upcoming, or one of two transfer coaches for this new academic year. So, yeah, I'm just really excited to be in this role and kind of help spread my knowledge around too.
Nice. Thank you, Eric. Yes, and many of you have probably heard my voice or seen my face before. My name is Montana. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the graduate assistant at the Transfer Center. And we will go ahead and get started. Oh. All right, so what are we planting? So you could probably infer from the title of this presentation that we are planting little seeds of knowledge for academic success at Cal Poly during your first quarter and beyond. So this is, ways to plan, organize, and execute tasks, and also healthy habits and strategies to eliminate stress. We know that transitioning to the quarter system is not an easy task, and because a lot of students do end up coming from semester system schools, that transition is quite jarring. It's very fast-paced, and it's sometimes hard to navigate. And so implementing these tips and tricks throughout your time at Cal Poly is really important in creating habits and becoming academically successful. And again, that kind of leads into, why are we planning these things? Well, starting early on and continuing to practice these skills creates habits, and implementing these tips supports your adjustment to the quarter system. But it's also very important that everybody's transition to the quarter system is very different. Each of us are very unique, and adjusting to the quarter system and implementing these strategies is different for everyone. So it's really important to remind yourself that what works for someone else might not necessarily work for you, and that's definitely okay. Now we're going to go ahead and break out into breakout rooms so we can discuss what success looks like for each of us. Because again, all journeys are different, and so success for one person might look different than what success looks like for you. So reflect on this experience and ask yourself, what does success look like for me? What does it feel like? When I'm successful, how does that look and how do I feel? We're going to go ahead and break off into breakout rooms so y'all can discuss this, and then we'll come back as a group and move on with the presentation. All right, so some great things were shared in our breakout space. We talked a little bit about success being something that we strive for in our daily lives. It's not necessarily like a destination or a long-term thing, but it's something that we, every day we strive to be successful, whether that's, balancing just work and school and our personal lives, and doing that successfully, then, to us, that's being successful. But again, for someone else, maybe that's achieving straight A's. Maybe they want to get straight A's, and to them that GPA, that means success for them. And that's okay. We all have different perspectives on what success looks like. And so now we're going to transition into healthy habits. I know that a lot of us kind of talked about implementing different habits through their daily lives and their schedules to kind of ease that success or that transition to success by implementing these different skills and practicing them on a daily basis. So healthy habits. Does anybody want to take a guess as to why I have the 2190 rule up there on the screen under healthy habits? Anyone can chime in.
I have no idea what that is.
That's okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure myself, but I'd like to guess. Is it like work/play? Is it like in that sort of thing? Like you do, work this much, like 90 minutes, and then like have like a rest or a break period for 21 minutes?
That's actually a really good guess. I would have never have guessed that. And I actually just recently found out what this rule was, and it has kind of changed the way I look at things and implement habits into my lifestyle. But the 21 is 21 days, and then the 90 is 90 days. And so it takes, according to research, it takes 21 days to build a habit, and then it takes 90 days to make a lifestyle change. So the 21-90 rule basically just means that if you start doing something and you do it for 3 weeks, 21 days, that you can create a habit. So you can create healthy habits over the course of 21 days. And then these habits over the course of 90 days will create lifestyle changes. So it's a really cool rule to think about when you're trying to practice healthy habits or just get into a new routine. Just think about, even if you have to, mark it on your calendar. What day is this? Okay, this is day 12 of me doing this. I have X amount of days left. So just to kind of get in the habit of practicing building these healthy habits. And then you can know that over the course of 3 months or 90 days, you will build lifestyle changes, and these will start changing the way that your life works. So some healthy habits that could help you not only academically but also professionally and personally, especially in this virtual world, are like taking screen breaks and making sure that you're stepping away from your screen, and making sure that you're taking time to do other things outside of being on Zoom or at work. And that could be, making sure that you're doing at least 30 minutes of physical activity a day, whether that's yoga, going for a run, lifting weights, or even just going for a walk, taking 2 15-minute walks throughout the day just to kind of break up screen time and get off screens and go outside, which kind of leads to our next option, which is, spending time in nature. Being outside is really helpful, and it's conducive to our learning. It increases our brain functionality, and it kind of, all the oxygen and just being outside surrounded by nature has been proven to significantly reduce stress and also help kind of manage your emotions throughout the day. And with that, drinking water and making sure that you're eating a balanced diet. I know, especially just being at home all the time, but even if, you remember being back on campus or at your previous institution, like kind of getting in those bad habits of like maybe not drinking water or drinking too much coffee or eating super late at night because you're studying late at night, but just making sure that you're kind of maintaining a healthy diet and drinking plenty of water. And again, I know being at home, that can often, maybe even be more challenging just because of the fact that we have someone else joining us. I'm going to go ahead and let them in. Hey, Daniel, we're talking about healthy habits here. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, and one healthy habit that Alex mentioned was getting enough sleep too. Very important. So
Yes, yeah, getting enough sleep. Oh gosh, that is not on here. That is a great catch. Yes, sleep is very important. We do not want to pretend that sleep does not exist, because we all definitely sleep, and it is very important. And alongside that, practicing daily self-care is also very important. And not only self-care, but community care. So not just taking care of yourself, but taking care of other people around you and other people in your community. And then checking in with yourself, really asking yourself, how am I feeling? How is this assignment making me feel? Or how is this situation making me feel? And really checking in with yourself and allowing yourself to feel those emotions. It's really important not only to acknowledge maybe the negative emotions that you're experiencing, but also the positive emotions, and being very mindful of the emotions that you're experiencing. Which actually leads us to our next slide. Good segue. Techniques to manage stress or anxiety, or really any emotions that you're kind of experiencing in that moment. And mindfulness exercises are a great way to do that. So making sure that you're really present and again, experiencing those emotions and allowing yourself to feel those emotions, and just being very present in the moment, concentrating on your breathing and the thoughts going through your mind. And along with mindfulness exercises are gratitude exercises. So when you're thinking those thoughts and going through, being in that present moment, also take note of the things that you're grateful for. These could be big things. They could also be really small things. They could be, getting up 30 minutes early in the morning just to have a warm cup of coffee. It could be like the simple pleasures of life that are really great. And then along with that are breathing exercises. So either on a separate occasion or maybe while you're practicing mindfulness or your gratitude exercises, making sure that you're taking time to breathe. So there's a technique called the four square breathing technique. And it's basically what you see here in this image. So it's taking a breath and breathing in for 4 seconds, and then holding that for 4 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds, holding that for 4 seconds, and then repeating that cycle. And so I would like for us to practice that together. So if you want to take a moment and just kind of get comfortable, put both feet on the ground, make sure you're sitting up straight. And though, again, not slouching, but also just in a comfortable position. Don't, arch your back too much or make it uncomfortable. And then I'll go ahead and count, but I would love for us to take these breaths together. So we're going to go ahead, and once you're comfortable, we'll get started, and we'll go around twice. All right, so if everybody's ready, I'll count to 4 and begin the cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now take a breath, and then we'll start the cycle again. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How does everybody feel after that?
Relaxed.
You feel good? Yeah, you feel relaxed. It should hopefully make you feel a little bit more relaxed. Typically after doing that exercise, I like to do it 3 times, but for the sake of time, we just did 2. Or even more than 3, actually. It's really great when you're, kind of in a stressful situation, or maybe you're getting ready to take an exam or sit down to write a paper, and you just are experiencing writer's block, or you just kind of can't get your mind thinking. It's really good to just sit there and take as many breaths and go through the cycle as many times as you need. And then that rush of oxygen, kind of goes to your brain, and you should feel calm and a little bit more relaxed and at ease. And it's super, super helpful. And I personally try to do this anytime that I'm stressed. So I highly encourage you all to just think about this. If you're sitting in traffic, or maybe, your roommate irritated you, or your parent did something, or your dog did something, just take a moment and breathe and go through this cycle once, twice, 3 times if you need. And then I guarantee you'll feel a little bit more calm and relaxed. All right, so now we'll break out again. I'll go ahead and pause the recording, but let's go ahead and break out and talk a little bit about some healthy habits that maybe you do or that you want to start doing, either based off things that you heard in the presentation or things that maybe you will do on your own that weren't in the presentation. But we'll go ahead and talk as a group. All right. So thank you for everybody for sharing. We learned a lot about different healthy habits that y'all do and things that you want to start doing. A lot of things surrounding like having a, just a more healthy lifestyle, exercising, drinking water, making sure you're sleeping, which are all really great. And I definitely encourage you all to continue doing those things or start doing them if you feel like you need to do a little bit better at them. And with all that said, I know that we've learned a lot about different like tips and tricks on how to, create healthy habits and implement those healthy habits. But you're also probably wondering, okay, well, these options are great and I would love to implement all of these things, but also my time is limited. So how do I do that? And that's kind of where time management comes in. So we have some tips on, different things that you can start implementing in your schedule to create more boundaries and have more time management. Which can often be very difficult, even in this virtual world and being at home all the time. I know for myself, it can get very challenging because, school, work, and your personal life are all in one area. So it's really hard to kind of navigate that and make sure that you're setting boundaries and unplugging. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So one of our first tips is making sure that you're setting boundaries, creating a space that is your own. And so, like I said, with everything kind of combined in one place, it's really hard to, determine like, okay, when is school, when is work, like where is that space for me? So making sure that you're creating that space. And, if that's making sure that your room is off limits during the day because that's your personal space, then that's great. Or maybe, your dining room table is where you do your work, and then maybe your room is where you do your homework. Making sure that you're creating those spaces and setting those boundaries, and also setting time limits for yourself so that you're unplugging. Maybe you say an hour before bed, I'm not going on any electronics, and that is, a boundary that you set for yourself. And then making sure that you're communicating these boundaries with friends and family. So if you're living with roommates, or if you're living with family, or even if you're living on your own, just let people know that you have created these boundaries. If someone says, oh, hey, we're going to go on a hike this weekend, like you should come. Well, no, I've dedicated Saturdays to homework. That's the boundary that I've set for myself. Or, come watch a movie with us tonight in the living room. No, you know what? I've dedicated this night to homework. So making sure that you communicate those boundaries and set up those spaces for yourself to be successful. And then also organizing your time. So making sure that you are utilizing a planner or a calendar. I personally use my Outlook religiously. I have to schedule in like every event that I have, even personal time with friends or family, just because that's how I keep track of everything. Again, when all of your worlds are kind of morphed into one, it can get really hard to navigate that and plan different events. So making sure that you're utilizing, whether that's your Outlook account and your calendar online, or getting a personal planner, or a physical planner, and writing down those events or those deadlines. And then scheduling in each event. So like I said, I schedule in time with my friends. If you have to do that to stay on track and to stay motivated, then you should do that for yourself. If that's what works for you, that's great. And I highly encourage it. And this is like even scheduling in things like chores. If you have to do laundry and you know that you need to get your laundry done, schedule that into your calendar so okay, I cannot miss laundry day again. Like I have to get my clothes washed. So making sure that you're scheduling in those little things. And then also take it week by week. Schedule out your weeks and take it week by week. Don't think about, week 10 and all that you have to do week 10. Think about, come Monday, you look at your calendar and you say, okay, this day I have this day I have that. And then you can see the week ahead, and it's a little less overwhelming when you take it week by week and task by task, instead of looking at everything you have to do all at once. And then that also kind of leads us to our next tip, which is prioritizing your tasks. So by due dates or importance, I personally do it by a due date. So if I know that something is due on Friday, I will set a time, like I will set a pre-deadline for myself of like Tuesday or Wednesday to have like a draft finished, or to have a general like outline of that assignment done. That way it gives me a little bit more time. And it's also really helpful if you need to contact your professors. Professors aren't obligated to, reach out to you over the weekend. So if you have a question on a Saturday and your assignment is due Monday, they may not reach out to you. So it's really important that you're setting your own deadlines in addition to other deadlines, and then prioritizing your tasks by those deadlines. So again, if you have an assignment due on a Monday, and it's like Thursday night, maybe you should get on that before you do an assignment that's, due 2 weeks away. And then creating a list and checking them off. So I shared this in one of our breakout times, but I'm very much like a task-oriented person, and I like to-do lists and I like marking them off. And if that works for you, that's great. It's kind of like a little incentive. By seeing that check mark or that shaded in box, it lets you know that you did something really good for yourself and you completed that assignment. And, for me, at least, it makes me feel very accomplished. So I encourage you to try it out. Maybe if you don't do that, maybe it could be something that works for you. And then in addition to that, which kind of coincides with that, just being accountable, having an accountability buddy. So this could be a classmate, it could be a family member, it could be a friend or a roommate. If you have a roommate that, you both are in school and you're like, okay, we're gonna hold each other accountable. I know you have class Wednesday and I have class Tuesday, so we're gonna check in with each other and make sure that we go to class. Or maybe it's a family member, maybe it's your sibling, and you say, hey, so-and-so, like, can you make sure that I actually went to class today? And you know what, that sounds silly, but accountability partners really help. They really hold you accountable, and not in a bad way, not scolding you for missing something, but just making sure that you're doing okay and checking in with you. And that's why I also encourage you to make friends with folks in your class. This could be really beneficial even in a virtual world. You know, it's so much more accessible to meet people online. So if you have a classmate that says, hey, do you want to like join my Zoom room after class and we can just chat about the assignment or the PowerPoint that we just went over, that's really helpful, and it's a really easy way to get an accountability buddy. And again, this will be somebody who checks in with you, and you know, someone to update, someone to celebrate your accomplishments with. It's really hard being in this virtual world and not necessarily having that direct communication and contact with other people. So I really encourage you to, again, find that classmate or a family member at home and celebrate your accomplishments with them. If you turned in an assignment and you're proud of that assignment, celebrate with them. You know, do a Zoom call, or you know, watch a movie with them that night. And make sure that you're incentivizing yourself along the way. And that's something that you can do together. All right, so we're gonna have, I'm gonna go ahead and pause the presentation again, but we'll have another little breakout session where we'll talk about some time management tips that, again, maybe you use, things that you learned in this presentation that you wanna start using, but we'll go ahead and share those together, and then we'll come back and finish off the presentation. All right, so we had some really great conversation about different time management tips, and I know a lot of the ones in the presentation folks found very helpful, and things that they already do on their own. A couple other things that were brought up that I personally just thought were great ideas. Making sure that you add in like your Zoom link to your calendar invite, or to the assignment that you have on your calendar, whether that's on your Outlook or even just physically writing it in your planner. Just making sure you always have that Zoom link available, so you're not, you know, bouncing back and forth between Canvas or your email to try to find that before class or before office hours. And then another thing, you know, that Eric had mentioned that he also does is has like assignments on one calendar, and then he has classes on another. So he has multiple calendars, so he can kind of see everything that he has to do. And you know, it definitely helps for visual learners, or just folks who, you know, maybe you have a really tiny planner and you need to have it a little bit bigger, so you can kind of see every week what is due and then when classes are. So that could be really helpful, getting like a whiteboard calendar to write down all your assignments, and then having your personal calendar, whether that's a planner or your Outlook account, for all your classes and work schedule and things like that. So making sure that you're separating out those different deadlines. All right, we're gonna wrap up here with kind of talking a little bit about how to find study groups. So all y'all are gonna go you can follow this link and go on here and scroll down, and you'll see this page. So on this page, you'll wanna click here and register to meet with a peer tutor. Eric's gonna go ahead and show you in just a second how to do that. But once you've registered, you'll log in with your Cal Poly credentials, and then you'll be able to pull up a page where you can register for a tutoring session. And you can also see what kinds of tutoring sessions are offered if you click the course and subject support available down here at the bottom. If you click on that link, it'll take you to all the different tutoring sessions that are available to you. We highly encourage you to just go in and register, even if you don't want to find a tutoring group right now. Just get the registration over with, and then that way when it comes time to finding a group, you can quickly just log in and then sign up for a tutoring session. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen so Eric can show you what it looks like from the student's perspective. That way you can kind of easily navigate it a little bit better.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Here, let's see. Okay, is it up?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, this is the screen you'll see once you click on that link in the PowerPoint. And so if you scroll down, you'll see that sign-in screen that was previously shown. But before I go into that, I'll just want to show you the course and subject support available. So click on that, and these are all the different courses that were mentioned. They're broken off by different colleges. So there's the College of Engineering, there's the College of Liberal Arts, And so these just kind of show all the different types of classes that are going to be available to have peer tutoring for you. So let me go back and actually click on the login screen. So yeah, you'll go here, click and register. So I'll hit login and let's see. It takes me to this like midway screen that says I don't have an email, but I do. So I'll just hit login again, and then so this is what actually pops up. So it first pops up with just a block of all the different tutors, and it actually shows like their schedules. Um, and the gray boxes are times in which are blocked out. So either have breaks or they're already taken up by other students. But the white boxes are actually times you can reserve. And the blue boxes are similar to the gray in that they're like time allotted just for the peers, tutors. But to see specifically for like your major or your classes, you'll go up here where it says filter schedule by course or subject. And so you'll go in and choose the specific class that you're trying to look for. I'm an aerospace engineer, so if I go ahead and click like Aero 215, it'll load, and then it shows all the different days, times, and different tutors, if there are multiple, that are available to help you out. And so I highly, highly, highly recommend this because if you don't know by now, you will soon. A quarter system is very, very busy, and so it's easy to get caught up and backtracked a lot. So if I have any advice, it's to just really seek out any help that you can in any way, shape, or form, whether it's through this peer tutoring, fellow classmates, or even just going to office hours. Like the teachers, the professors are there to help you. That's their job. So definitely don't be afraid to go any route that you looked for in looking for that help. So yeah, highly, highly recommend. But yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, and just to reiterate, like these are all free for students. So definitely take advantage of that. Go in there, set up a tutoring session, and get the support that you need to be successful at Cal Poly. Because you are, this is a part of being a student at Cal Poly, and it's free to you. So might as well take advantage and utilize it. All right, so just to end here, if you do want to connect with us, please feel free to follow us on Instagram. That's where we post all of our events, and really anything that goes on in the Transfer Center is on our Instagram. And you can also find links to all of our events in our Instagram bio on our link tree. So you can follow us at CP Slow Transfers. And then if you have any questions or concerns, or if you want to get this recording or find out more information about the Transfer Center, just shoot us an email at transfer@calpoly.edu. Heather, our coordinator, she's the one behind that email, and so she'll respond to you. And then also our website has a bunch of different resources for current and incoming transfer students. So if you have any questions or concerns, definitely refer to our website for more information. And we are always here. We do have drop-ins throughout the week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have it from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have it from 4 to 6 p.m. So that link can also be found on our website and in our Instagram bio. So feel free to drop in and get more support from our current transfer students, myself, Heather, and Eric, and our other student coaches. And we are here to support you through this transition, and we don't want you to feel alone. So again, just reach out to us if you want to connect. And yeah, thank you all for coming tonight. We really appreciate it. We hope that you have a great rest of your week.
Yeah, thank you all.